Hey, Lorian Tull here, and sorry I haven't posted in a while. I was trying to write something every day, but then unfortunately I got very sick. I have a yeast allergy. It's actually a disability. I also have autoimmunity. What people need to understand about having a disability is that it's anything that can affect your daily activity in a negative way. It doesn't have to be you being in a wheelchair. It doesn't have to be you having a physical like a manifestation. It doesn't have to be something you can actually visually see. If you met me in person, though, you would notice, and some of my friends have known me for a long time who've seen me over a period of years have recognized the fact that I'm super thin. Like, I should weigh 120 pounds, and I weigh anywhere from 110 to 116, and my weight has dropped as low as 101. Basically, yeast isn't just the yeast that makes bread rise, it's also the substance called candida, which is a fungal infection. And all of us women know what that is. We get we get yeast infections often, or at least once or twice in our lives. I don't, I kind of, I want to say I wouldn't be surprised there isn't a woman on the planet who doesn't know what a yeast infection is. Um, but unfortunately, I'm allergic to them. And yeast is actually part of your digestive system. It naturally occurs in your intestines. But because I'm allergic to it, I have to do whatever I can to prevent it from occurring. And I just recently found out why I get so sick. I get these symptoms where I have a nasal infection. It usually hurts right in here, right in the back of the mouth. I have this sharp pain that feels like a toothache. But if I do neti pot, the pain goes away. So I figured out it's not a toothache. Actually, when I was in high school, I had a pain in my jaw. Same, I think it might have been even in this exact same area. Went to the dentist, and the dentist did a complete scan and said, "You don't have any bad teeth." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "And the pain is you've got an infection in your nose. You have a nasal infection." But I could breathe through my nose. It was something that was like causing some sort of inflammation inside my nose that wasn't actually affecting my breathing. He says that your roots of your teeth are so long they go up into your nose. So whenever when you get a nasal infection, it's actually causing your teeth to hurt. I was like, oh. So that's one of the reasons why I kind of thought I would try to fix my nose whenever I'd get this pain. And that's when I figured out, well, this is not a toothache. I don't have to go to the dentist. It's something with my nose. Well, I also now know what's really going on, because what would happen is I'd get this infection in my nose and then I'd get sick. And I would get so sick I would throw up. And I'd feel this drainage down the back of my throat. Well, recently, I don't like AI, but the search engine on Google is really awesome for finding out what's wrong with you if you've got symptoms. Because I was like, would having an allergic reaction to yeast cause you to vomit? And it said no, unless you have esophageal candiditis, or I don't know the scientific word for it, but basically you have a yeast infection in your esophagus. Because you can get a thrush. Thrush is what they call a yeast infection if you have it at the back of your throat, but it can get in your esophagus. And if it gets into your esophagus, you basically want your body's reaction is to throw up to get it out of your esophagus if you're allergic to it. And I was like, well, that explains a lot of it, because it every like couple of months, it used to be a lot worse. I used to get it like all the time, but because I'm so restricted with what I eat and so careful, it happens less and less. And especially when I'm on low dose dextrone. This is the first time I've gotten sick since starting LDN again, and it's probably my own fault. I kind of cheated a little bit because I was hungry and I ate some stuff I probably shouldn't have. It was because I was desperate. And I was out somewhere, and I was doing something and I couldn't get home to get food, and I just bought something. I thought, well, this will be okay for me to eat this one time. And thinking, no, not okay, apparently. And what really bothers me too is that I sometimes can't tell because the reaction isn't right away. Like, I'll eat something, it'll cause a yeast infection to grow, and then I have a reaction. So sometimes there's a couple day lag between whatever it is I ate that causes the reaction and the actual manifestation of me getting like this reaction where I'm not able to eat anything because I'm throwing up for days. But that's what happened last week. And people don't understand, I can't grab and go food. If I grab and go, I can't, I have to be really careful. Nothing can cross contaminate it with anything that's yeast in it. Nothing can be, processed food is difficult. Though I am trying to experiment with some processed foods to try to make it easier for me. I buy pumfu, which is kind of processed. It's basically pumpkin tofu. I buy cans of coconut, which coconut actually kills yeast. Today I bought a vegan ice cream cone, which I haven't done in a while, but was a churro one, so there's cinnamon in it, and I know cinnamon kills yeast, but I can't eat that every day because the sugar in it would eventually cause my body to grow yeast, and I'd get really sick. Um, and it's stuff like that. Like I just have to be really careful. So if you don't understand now why I have a disability, imagine if anything that you eat would cause your body to grow an infection inside of you that you're actually allergic to, that would cause you to lose so much weight that you basically starve to death. Because I basically like my cycle. My cycle. I'm a next gen. My cycle though stopped in my late 40s. Or yeah, actually mid 40s. It stopped, and it stopped because I was so malnourished. I wasn't getting enough. I wasn't getting enough nourishment. And my parents would say it because I wasn't eating meat, but that's not true. Because in actuality, I can't eat red meat with a candida allergy because red meat could actually be contaminated with yeast. Red meat is one of the things on my list of I can't eat that because it actually could end up causing me to grow candida. I can't eat, and a lot of meats also can be infected with bacteria or with stuff that would actually cause my system to grow the yeast. So I avoid meat. The only type of meat that would be safe for me to potentially eat would be wild caught fish, because farm caught fish can be also infected with fungus and bacteria that could actually cause me to have a reaction. I also think that there's other things that I'm allergic to that I don't know. Like there may be some sort of fungal infection I'm allergic to, and some other stuff. I'm also allergic to pork, so I can't have pork anyway. So I can't. That's off the list. So yeah. So anyways, I figured I would say that. I don't want to have this be the center of my world. It's funny. I beat breast cancer, and for a while I was doing all this stuff pro breast cancer, but I didn't want that to become the center of my life. I'm not a doctor. I didn't go to medical school. I can't solve the problem with breast cancer. All I can do is tell you, all I can be supportive of people who do have breast cancer and try to be, and I try to, and help people if I can who've gone through what I would. If I could do anything over with, I would not have implants put in my body, and I would have tried to make Hollywood accept the fact that I was flat chested. And if that had happened, who knows? I think maybe there might have been a possibility I'd be a working actor now, because then if they had said, we're getting rid of you, it's like, you're getting rid of me because I don't have boobs anymore. Especially a show like Grey's Anatomy, which is the show that ended up getting rid of me. Arnie Starr actually recently posted on Facebook that he said they got rid of me because I was sick. I hate Grey's Anatomy because what kind of a show is a show about doctors that people on the show actually who worked background actually said that they did what they could to get rid of me because I was ill when I needed the income in order to get better. In fact, at the time I weighed 116 pounds. Within 2 years, my weight dropped to 101, and I almost died because of what they did. So I hate Shonda Rhimes for very valid reasons. It's not race or color. It's the fact that basically she actually is a hypocrite. And they could say, oh, well, she had nothing to do with it. I was told the production got rid of me. She's the owner of the show, basically, or she's one of the employers of the show. She had a say. She was the showrunner. So yeah. As far as I'm concerned, you're responsible. Your company is responsible for the actions of your employees. Patrick Dempsey and Eric Dane. I lost my breast to cancer in 2005. I was raped by Jeremy Gilbreth after going through the cancer. And then I triggered an autoimmune disease. There are people with autoimmunity who are working on sets all the time. I just have an added complication, and I actually needed the protection of the union. I needed the protection of someone to basically say, well, Laura has this problem. She needs it taken care of if she's going to work. You need to feed her what she says she can eat. You can't feed her what you want to feed her. You have to make sure that she has the food so that she can actually get through the day. I needed the protection of the union. I also ironically needed a job where people would actually cook food for me or make food for me. So being an actor was actually the best situation. And people will be like, I saw an interview recently with Rainn Wilson. By the way, Asaph Cohen, who knows the guy who's the head of Chemical 13 that I starred in, I won't say star. Well, I'm one of the actors in it, so I guess I can say I can star in it. I'm not the star of it, not the lead. But I was I guess a co-star, or I always get confused about that when it comes to a movie. But I know I should know that information, but I don't care as long as it's acting gig. And I don't care what the level of it is. It's just I'm acting in it. So if I'm doing part of a team, because I was a theater major, we're all part of the same, the same end result of trying to get a show done. Asaph Cohen knew the lead of that. He knew I was doing it. He knew I was starring in Chemical 13. So how he knew me when I first met him. He knew I was working on Chemical 13 with his friend. And I met him in 2010 or 2011 at a SAG event where he was trying to run for office for the union. He tried to introduce me to Woody Schultz, and Woody Schultz ran away from me like I was some sort of stalker fan, and I didn't know who he was. I'd never heard of him before, but apparently he's from Baltimore. The entire situation was I felt like people were had talked to these two people about me in some respect, and apparently with Woody it was like, ugh. I'm like, okay, I don't have a chronic disease, I don't have an STD, and I'm a straight A student from Towson High School. Why are you acting the way you are? And I also have a theater bachelor. Why aren't you showing me equality and respect and not judgment? And anyways, Asaph knew I was doing that movie, and I posted something about Rainn Wilson on Twitter, and immediately this Twitter troll that had been stalking me for years, for Shonda Rhimes, attacked me for it. Like I wasn't supposed to talk to Rainn Wilson. Don't talk to him. And then within 2 weeks, I'm watching a show with Rainn Wilson in it, and who's on the show? But Asaph Cohen in a scene with him. And I'm like, what? Whoever was attacking me online, someone attacked me online for 5 years for Shonda Rhimes. And some of those, I have a list of those accounts. I have a summary of those accounts. Some of them are still up on X, Twitter. The first one is one called Mikey Sanchez. And I believe it was either the same person or possibly two people claiming to be a female. And they were just constantly creating new accounts and constantly attacking me. And every time they would attack me, they would be like, I wouldn't get any notification. I would get very few notifications. But all of a sudden I would look and it'd be this whole list of these attacks, replies to stuff I said that was from this person degrading me, demoralizing me. The first one had a soccer ball, but the rest of them were like eggs. And these weird names, some of them including my own name, like they were acting like they were using my name and saying like, or actress Yogi or this and that. And they were just attacking me over and over again. And it just made me think that it was whoever that person was, it was someone connected to Asaph Cohen, Shonda Rhimes, Grey's Anatomy, ABC Disney, SAG-AFTRA, and maybe even someone who worked with me on that set, Grey's Anatomy. And ironically, also, Arnie Starr sent me emails at one point, and the same day that he sends me emails attacking me for posting emails from him that I posted online, in which case he called me a schizophrenic and said all this stuff about me. Because when he said recently that they got rid of me because I was sick, I don't know if it's because he said I had schizophrenia, which I don't have, or it was because I am sick with an autoimmune disease, in which case they're backtracking. Because when he's saying I'm sick, it's like, okay, but my sickness didn't do anything, didn't affect the show at all. I didn't go where I wasn't supposed to be, which is one rumor I had. There was another rumor out there because some guy showed up with a knife on set. I'm thinking, do I look like I'm a guy? I think I talked to that guy like once or twice, but I didn't like have anything to do with him bringing a knife on set. Why are you saying you're getting rid of me for something this guy did who I barely knew? And then the other thing was that I went places I didn't go, but I always asked permission. And it's one of those situations where I asked the crew person if I could go, and then somebody else just assumed I didn't have permission to go. Because I know that happened once where I actually asked someone, can I go to Crafty? And they said, yeah, you can go to Crafty. And then this girl I knew who hated me on the show, because we dated the same guy years before, or almost did, she said to him, I just saw Laura go to Crafty when she's not supposed to go. And it was the same person who gave me permission to go. I was like, she just gave me permission to go, and you're telling her, I'm like, children. Melinda Johnson, who was the AD on the set of The Goods when I was tripped, was also the AD on the set of Grey's Anatomy, who showed up to the set of Grey's Anatomy after I was tripped. And I thought there was some sort of weird coincidence about that too, because they switched payroll companies from the company that was the company of record from the production I was tripped. And I don't know, I'm not the kind of person who would cause an accident to sue. And I don't know if they were trying to help me out. Well, look, we're going to do this so you can keep working and sue them. I'm not going to sue anybody. if I could still get up and work, and I don't want to deal with that because it could take 10, 15, 20 years. And I don't lie. And as a woman, they're not going to give me a lot of money. They should, because I'm Phi Beta Kappa and Mensa, but I'm not from California. I don't have any California lawyer friends who could help me sue. I hated the lawyers I worked with when I did. I worked in law offices for a year in California and hated it. Hated it. So, I don't know. Everything going on in the world right now, and I'm talking about stuff that happened to me. But when I think about everything that happened to me, I think this is just like the precursor to what's going on with everybody now. Because my father's a Homeland Security agent, and part of me thinks that, I mean, Jeff Orland, who's the casting agent with Grey's Anatomy, background casting director, basically said that my father put me on a list when I was told I was on a list at the gate. I was told at the gate, told to come to set to recall, showed up at the gate, and then told I was on a list by Disney. And then a watcher list is what they said to me. And then Jeff Orland on the phone after I got home said that he was told to get rid of me by the production without an explanation. And this was after Patrick Dempsey and Eric Dane found out I was a lawyer, playing a lawyer on Eli Stone when I really was a lawyer. I just wasn't like, I was resigned. I was not resigned from the bar yet, but I wasn't allowed to practice because I was inactive. And then I decided to resign right before the union threw me into an institution for saying I was a lawyer, simply because I knew I couldn't handle it. I can't be a practicing lawyer, nor do I want to sit at my desk all day and doing computer stuff where I feel like I'm slowly killing myself because I'm so bored and hate my life. I hate my life, don't like it, don't want to do accounting, don't want to be mindless all day. I want to be able to use my brain. I want to be able to think. And we live in a society where I just feel like, well, this is the great apocalyptic where we're all just at computers. And ironically, whatever they would have me do, I'm thinking, can't you just get an AI to do that? Because I would actually like a job where I actually get to use my creative mind to think and dream. I haven't been able to have a good night's sleep until I started reading novels again so I could dream. Yeah. I want to dream. I know, if you met me in person, you probably think I'm a talker. I like talking to the camera more than I would be. I'm not very good at small talk. I think I'm just needed to get this off my chest. And someone will say, go to a therapist. A therapist is not going to help me. I don't want to talk to a therapist. I don't want to confide in a therapist. I want this to be public record because I want people to understand that what happened to me was wrong. But then we don't want to hear injustice. You don't want to find out that that television show you love to work was really horrible to someone. But it's the truth. I cannot stand Patrick Dempsey and Eric Dane. I wasn't really into them anyways, never really a fan. I remember watching Patrick Dempsey movies when I was a kid, and I think it's really ironic because I had an 18-year-old guy in 2003 come after me to sleep with me. He put on a condom. I passed out on him, and the next day he accused me of being gay. Because I wasn't into that. I wasn't that into him. He was a lot younger than me. And I don't know if he's a lawyer or what he is right. I think he's a lawyer actually now. I kind of suspect that he may be or something because as far as I was concerned, last thing I said to this guy was, go see somebody else. You can date whoever you want. Just move on. And then his response to me was that I was the coolest girl on the set. That's what he said to me. It was Deadwood. He said I was the coolest girl in Deadwood. I'm thinking, yeah, I probably am, or at least the nicest or whatever. And I moved on. I didn't think about him again. And he wasn't a boyfriend. He wasn't a love interest. And that was it. And if that's why all this has been happening, that's really ridiculous. He wasn't underage. And if anything, he targeted me. He came after me, and I didn't pursue him because I don't do that. And I'm not after younger men. I mean, there's been this series of things where I would go to a Disney event, and as soon as I leave the event, I've got some 21-year-old brunette kid following me on some social media site, and I'm like, Jordan, stop it. You were a child to me, and you're still behaving like a child. And if that's him, or if it's someone else who just wants to validate what happened, or if it's Jeremy Gilbreth trying to validate what happened since he sexually assaulted me and raped me. I'm very exhausted with all of that. It's incredibly ridiculous. I also am not looking for some guy who likes to drink beer and hang out at bars, nor am I looking for some guy who looks like he drives a truck or hunts and fish. I'm sorry, you know what? I only spent my holidays with my family on the Eastern Shore. The rest of the year I was in school in Maryland, not fishing, not hunting, doing schoolwork, reading books, and learning and expanding my mind. which I think more of us need to do. We need to read more. We need to connect. And oddly enough, by reading, we can actually connect more, I think. Have things to talk about, connect with. Feed this and feed your heart so that we can have a better human experience. I'm going to go now. I think I wanted to write something tonight. I think this is going to be my post, though, because I think I might try to go to bed early, or at least if not go to bed early, read books until last night I read books till like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I've got to stop doing that because then I end up sleeping till noon, which I can't do because I need to actually do something to function in life. And functioning for life, though, doesn't mean I go find a job that I'm going to hate. And that's just it. I'm going to walk back into SAG-AFTRA so that maybe I can actually find work that allows me to use this and this. Because I was training to be a film editor and an actor. But you know what? I'm a girl. I can't work in the entertainment industry because I spent 3 years in law school. I wasn't born in California. I'm sorry, but I'm not interested. I'm not interested in going back to DC and living the life I lived back there. There's no job for me back there. There's no life for me back there. And I've lived in California since 2002. I have not worked in any other industry in California but the entertainment industry since 2003. So I want to work in that industry. I could have been working for film festivals. I volunteer with a friend of mine runs a film festival. I volunteer with her film festival every time she has it, unless I get sick. And I'm getting better at not getting sick. So, and knowing what to do if I do get sick. So, yeah, so that's it. As to what's been going on, I know what's going on in the world and I'm hating it. And I'm actually probably going to post a second video about that. Like, I think it's too important for me. I need to focus and post a little short video about that. So over now.